In this second video of the email etiquette series, we look at some of the useful phrases you need in emails. We will think particularly about how to sound polite in email. It is often said that politeness levels exist in Japanese that do not exist in English. In some senses, this is true. In Japanese, you may use a different verb or verb ending to mean go, depending on whether you are talking to someone senior or junior to yourself. In English, we use go with anyone. But politeness levels do exist in English. The basic rule is that the longer the phrase, and the more appropriate phrases are used, the more polite the expression becomes. Let's look at polite language in 3 situations: thanking others for their emails, introducing new topics, and making requests to the other person. Probably the shortest way to say thank you in English is the very casual term ta. Another is cheers. If a close friend sent you an email providing some information you wanted to know, you could say ta or cheers as a quick way of saying thank you. With emails in a professional context, you are more likely to use thanks as a casual form. Thank you is the standard term which may be used in almost any situation. When thanking someone for sending an email, "Thank you for your mail" and "Thanks for the mail" are very common first phrases in your reply. To make it more polite, we can add extra words. Thank you very much for your email. If you want to express even deeper gratitude, you can use phrases such as "I was extremely grateful to receive your email." The most humble forms of thanks include phrases such as "I cannot express adequately in words my deep sense of gratitude for your email." To be honest, however, this final example is way over the top for most emails. The point I'm trying to make, though, is that in English, politeness levels do exist, and they depend on the length of the sentence and combination of appropriate phrases. In short, in professional emails, the most useful phrase is, "Dear Tom, thank you for your email." You might want to add the date too. "Thank you for your email of the 18th of July." When writing emails, you do not only respond to other people's messages. Sometimes you want to initiate contact or introduce new topics yourself. If you already know the person well, you have probably developed a communication style. But maybe it has been a long time since you contacted them. In that case, you could use these phrases in a casual context. "How have you been? I hope you're well." Or you could use the term "long time no email," which is a variation on the well-known English idiom "long time no see." This is a good phrase for Japanese people to learn, because it's the closest English equivalent to "ohisashiburi desu." Perhaps you want to apologize for your long silence. In this case, "Many apologies for not contacting you sooner" is a useful phrase. Note how the similar phrase, "I apologize for not contacting you sooner," which uses the verb "I apologize" rather than the noun "many apologies," is clearly more polite in English. Overall, the closer your relationship with the other person, and the more recent your last contact with them, the less necessary these opening pleasantries are. However, if your relationship with the other person is very distant, or if this is your first contact, then a brief self-introduction is appropriate. "My name is Emily Smith. I'm a consultant at Hokkaido Savings Bank." and all students at Hokkaido University, please learn this absolutely essential phrase for when you contact your teachers. Dear Professor Suzuki, my name is Hokudai Taro, and I am taking your English class on Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Your teachers have many students, and in this one simple sentence you give all the necessary information for the teacher to know who you are. If you are contacting someone senior, or if they are not expecting your email, you might want to use a humble phrase like this. Dear Professor Williams, please forgive this mail out of the blue. On other occasions, it would be appropriate to state how you got the person's contact details. Dear Professor Williams, my name is Hokudai Keiko, and I am a student at Hokkaido University. I was given your email address by Dr. Tanaka, who recommended that I contact you. Or, I found your email address on the Hokkaido University website. Once you've completed all of the opening pleasantries and self-introductions, introduce the topic of your mail. I would like to make an appointment to discuss my job with you. There is always a purpose to a professional email. Sometimes you simply send out information that does not require a reply. But on many occasions you want a reply. This is when understanding politeness levels in English is really important. The important question when making a request is this: does the other person have to reply or not? Let's look at cases where people have to respond first. Let's suppose I am the boss of a company and I am trying to set up a meeting time with my employees. In this situation, they have to respond. They are my employees. I pay them to respond. A request in this situation is very similar to an order. Send me the dates you can come to the meeting. Remember that we can make phrases politer in English by making the sentence longer and using appropriate phrases. Please could you send me the dates you can come to the meeting is longer and politer. On the other hand, when the other people do not have to respond, and particularly when the person is more senior or distinguished, it is very important to get the humble language correct. If you sent an email to your professor saying, "Tell me the date I need to hand in my homework," you're going to create a really bad impression. The minimum level of politeness you need in this situation is, "Please can you tell me the date I need to hand in my homework?" Remember the basic rule: longer means more polite. In English, there are a number of humble phrases we can use. I wonder if you could tell me the date. Could you be so kind as to tell me the date? I would be very grateful if you could tell me the date. I would be extremely grateful if you could be so kind as to tell me the date. I'm very sorry to trouble you with this, but I wonder if you could tell me the date. Notice how in English the main message is always "tell me the date." But by using more and more phrases before the request, it becomes more and more polite. Be careful not to go over the top. Being too humble can sound insincere and sarcastic. Making requests will also affect your final greeting in the email, but we will look at that in video 3. Finally, let us recap the main point of this video. Different levels of politeness do exist in English, and it is important that you use them well in a professional context. The basic rule is that combining appropriate phrases into longer sentences increases the level of politeness. So, remember that. Or, if I wanted to be more polite, please can you remember that?